This is the fourth elegy of Rilke's Duino elegies. The fourth elegy. O trees of life, oh, when are you wintering? We are not unified. We have no instincts like those of migratory birds. Useless and late, we force ourselves suddenly unto the wind and fall down to an indifferent lake. We realize flowering and fading together, and somewhere lions still roam, never knowing, as long as they have their splendor, of any weakness. We, though, while we are intent on one thing wholly, feel the loss of some other. Enmity is our neighbor. Aren't lovers always arriving at boundaries, each of the other who promised a distance, hunting and home? And when, for the sketch of a moment, a contrasting background is carefully prepared so that we can see it, then this is clear to us. We do not know the contours of feeling, only what forms it from outside. Who has not sat scared before his heart's curtain? It drew itself up. The scenery was of departure, easy to comprehend. The familiar garden swaying a little. Then the dancer appeared. Not him. Enough! However lightly he moves, he is in costume and turns into a citizen, and goes through the kitchen into his house. I don't want these half-completed masks. Rather, the doll that is complete. I will suffer its shell, its wire, its face of mere appearance. Here, I am waiting, even if the lights go out, even if someone says to me, "No more!" Even if emptiness reaches me as a gray drought of air from the stage, even if none of my silent forefathers sits by me anymore. Not one woman, not even the boy with the brown squinting eyes. I'll still be here. One can always watch. Am I not right? You to whom life tasted so bitter, Father, tasting mine, that first clouded infusion of my necessities, you kept on tasting as I grew, and preoccupied by the aftertaste of such a strange future, searched my misted gaze. You, my Father, who since you are dead have often been anxious with my innermost hopes, at giving up calm, the kingdoms of calm the dead own, for my bit of fate. Am I not right? And you, women, am I not right? Who would love me for that small beginning of love for you that I always turned away from, because the space of your faces changed, as I loved, into cosmic space, where you no longer existed? When I feel like waiting in front of the puppet theater, no, rather gazing at it so intently that at last, to balance my gaze, an angel must come and take part, dragging the puppets on high. Angel and doll. Then there's a play at last. Then what we endlessly separate merely by being comes together. Then, at last, from our seasons here, the orbit of all change emerges over and above us. Then the angel plays. See, the dying must realize that what we do here is nothing. How full of pretext it all is, nothing in itself. Oh, hours of childhood, when behind the images there was more than the past, and in front of us was not the future. We were growing, it's true, and sometimes urged that we soon grow up, half for the sake of those others who had nothing but their own grown-upness, and were yet on our own, happy with timelessness. And we stood there, in the space between world and plaything, at a point that from first beginnings had been marked out for pure event. Who shows a child just as they are? Who sets its who sets it in its own constellation, and gives the measure of distance into its hand? Who makes a child's death out of gray beard that hardens, or leaves it inside its round mouth like the core of some shiny apple? Killers are easy to grasp, but this death, the whole of death before life, to hold it so softly and not live in anger, cannot be expressed. But this death, the whole of death before life, to hold so softly and not live in anger, cannot be expressed.